Roy Schultheis is a lifelong Florida resident currently living in Palm Beach. Roy, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. My first question, how are you doing? How's your family doing?
We're doing well. Everybody's healthy. Obviously, pretty traumatic experience for us to go through as a family. Been through major hurricanes in the past, like Hurricane Andrew, being born and raised in Miami. But the experience of going through a tornado was intense and certainly a surprise.
I want to talk about that. I was seeing the damage behind you in your backyard. I'm assuming you were home with your wife and kids when the storm hit. Can you talk us through what happened? What did it feel like? What did you see?
Yeah, so the tornado was approaching my home from the side and kind of the rear of my house. I was actually on the phone in the front of my home, and I was kind of describing what I was seeing in front of me, which is basically the clouds were moving across the sky in a rapid pace, something I'd never seen before. I sensed that something strange was going on. The emergency alerts then went off on my phone, and then basically the windows began to vibrate. So I realized there was likely a tornado somewhere around the area, but I certainly didn't think that a tornado was approaching my home. Then I started just feeling my home getting belted. I felt like, or I thought it was hail. So I went over to my front door, and as I approached the front door, large objects just started slamming into it. I felt like the door was about to blow right back into me. At that point, my wife, who had a rear view of the home, could actually see all the debris that was flying around. So she ran to the front of the house towards me in a panic with our kids. We took cover in a room that had one window. It was the closest room that we could get to with the least amount of windows, and just took cover of my family. Got on top of them to try to protect them from anything that could go wrong. And that's kind of when it dawned on me that we were in serious danger, and if we lost that window, or any window really, the roof would blow out, and we'd be in trouble.
We're looking at the video. The strength of these winds and these gusts are so powerful. Now, if this isn't traumatic enough, what you and your family went through, now I'm hearing you're having insurance issues. Tell us more about that, Roy.
Well, apparently, because there was a hurricane that was approaching the state, let's be very clear here. I live in Palm Beach County. Palm Beach County was not hit by a hurricane, and basically a tornado, it's very clear, struck my home and my neighbors around between 4 and 5 p.m. I'm actually a little hazy on exactly what time it happened, but it was actually before the impacts were being felt on the west coast of the state. So that's really meaningful to policyholders, and my neighbors and I are going to basically potentially have to put up a fight because insurance companies may want us to have to pay hurricane type deductibles for the damage that we've experienced. I live in a brand new community. My house was just recently completed. I closed on my home in February. So from that standpoint, it's a good thing because we were safe from a health standpoint, but all of my windows are broken. My tile is gone, and classifying this as hurricane damage as opposed to what actually struck me, which was a very destructive tornado, means tens of thousands of dollars for me in out-of-pocket expenses.
So what lies ahead for cleanup and rebuilding now, Roy?
Well, hopefully not an insurance fight. All of us homeowners are going to be counting on the insurance companies to do the right thing, and obviously recognize that we were struck by a tornado, long before a hurricane approached the state. The day after the storm, you're kind of running on adrenaline, and you're just getting through the recovery efforts. But yesterday was kind of a tough day for all of us as we started getting news back from the insurance companies. So that's just a primary thing is you start cleaning up, and then you frankly start budgeting, setting aside personal cash that you're going to need to get through this scenario. And for all of us that moved here, it's a beautiful community, beautiful homes. We obviously made a large investment to acquire these homes.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.